Hey, hi. Lamore, Bill, and especially MOSFET. Keep being awesome.
Hello, this is Ted Porter Jr. I was watching your Saturday broadcast. I was trying to call in. Obviously, I'm not the winner, but just want to let you know that I truly appreciate
All right, live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Wednesday Ask Engineer on this historic January 20th, 2021. It's me, Lady Ada, not your new president.
No.
Not enough people wrote me
No,
in.
but we do have the first woman, black woman, Asian,
South Asian woman, yeah.
South Asian woman in office. And when the president does the first congressional meeting, the two people next to him will be women, first time in history.
Wow.
So today's historic. You're a woman-owned company. You're breaking ceilings, but today there was a bunch of glass ceilings that were broke. There's glass everywhere.
I know.
In a good way.
I'm gonna maybe my run will come in another 48 years. But we got an exciting show for you tonight. It's me, Lady Ada. With me is Mr. Lady Ada, as always. We're here for the next hour to let you know about all the news that's fit to 3D print. What's going on in the maker community, Python news, some Iron NPI, it's not out yet, some videos of Disney making a building across the street.
That's right.
And more. It's all the stuff you love on Ask an Engineer. So let's kick it right off.
Yeah, I wanted to mention in the beginning of the show, we played what we broadcasted yesterday. So yesterday was the first time there was a nationwide memorial for the now 400,000 people we lost in the U.S. so far. And so this is what we made because the idea was you have a candle. So we did a digital candle and we streamed it. And, for longtime viewers, you've seen us go through this since March. And so this is our way to remember, our way to heal. We've had close calls with our teams. Our team is still safe. We're beating the odds, 100 plus people, and we've managed not to have people getting sick or even infected, but their family members had. We have team members they've lost family. There are people that aren't going to be with them, and those are people that are loved. Those are voices that are silenced, and
It sucks. There's going to be so many people
it's a whole.
who don't have grandparents, granduncles, uncles, aunts.
400,000 people is the size of, I think, some states' populations or large cities.
It's like where the town I grew up in was about, maybe.
So we're just an electronics company, and we do, though, have a lot of social causes that are important to us, and we want, more than anything, to help everyone stay safe and get back to the things that we know that we need to do as a society. We need to teach technology. We need to share technology. This is, if there's going to be a future, technology is involved, and we're the type of people who make those things. We build those things. So before
working hard every day.
Yeah. So before I talk about what's on the show tonight, we have a big announcement. For the next 100 days, Adafruit is putting a mask in all U.S. orders. So basically, if you order anything, so like
it's $1.
we have
to put
these. Yeah.
some number in, so it's $1.
We
If
do-
you order $1 or more.
We do freebies, and we'll talk about that like we usually do in a few seconds. Like, here's all the stuff, free stuff you get. But we understand our customers are very interested in masks, and they wear them anyways. But this is just a good reminder. So we're tossing really cool black mask. If you want to look at it, it's here.
Yes, and it's super goth, and they're individually wrapped for safety, so it's nice and clean. And then they're great gifts for people. You know what? Actually, when Phil and I, sometimes we do go outside, we always have single-use masks in our pockets. So if we see someone who is looking for one or needs one, we're ready to hand it out politely, of course.
And it's all about like signaling. So we're saying like, hey, like this is important. We're going to do this for 100 days. You probably have plenty of masks but this is just something that we're going to do. And so next 100 days, hopefully this is just another voice and a chorus of people saying if we all wear a mask for 100 days, we could save lives while we're all trying to figure out when the next round of vaccinations can occur, because there turns out we don't have enough yet. So anyways, on to the show, and we'll continue to have our cute little logo and just remind people and do all the things we can. And Adabot is super safe.
We're so close.
If you want to see our
He's
safety,
a robot. He doesn't even have a pneumatic breath system.
If you want to see our safety protocols, go to adafruit.com/opensafely. We literally swab down Adafruit every single month to look for viral load and send it off to a lab, and you can see exactly what our results are every single month, and so far so good. However, it is literally knocking on the door. We have an outside door that has detected virus. That means
Like on the doorknob, man, it's terrible.
We're at a building with others. Probably they touch their hands. It's not a threat vector where you'll get it from that. It's just good to know.
But it means that there are people who are COVID positive and they don't know it and are out.
Keep your shields up.
Around.
So we're still shipping stuff. Our team thanks you. People are ordering stuff. This is our team pre-COVID. Thank you so much for ordering stuff. You've been keeping us in business for the last 10 months. We very much appreciate it. Show and tell, people around the world, showing and sharing their projects. Lady Ada will talk about the show and tell this week. This was an epic one. If you want to see a glimpse of the future, go and watch show and tell. It's uploaded to YouTube and all other channels right now. Time travel, look around the world, makers, hackers, artists, and engineers, current news and events, and more. Python on hardware news, take a look on what's going on in the world of Python. I'm in New York City factory footage. We are a USA factory here in New York City. 3D printing, and everyone's favorite segment, DigiKey and Adafruit present Ion MPI. We have a special
very eyeful one today.
One this week with NXP. New products, we have an announcement. So this week's new product's going to be a little different. It's going to be an announcement about an announcement. Top secret. We'll answer your questions. We do that on Discord, adafruit.at/Discord. Join all 26,000 of us over there. 24/7 hackerspace that you can go to virtually. All that and more on, you guessed it, Ask an Engineer.
Yes. Okay, let's kick it off.
Yeah, so let's kick it off. So freebies are going to be a little bit different. If you place an order,
you still get the existing
freebies.
Get
all this stuff.
Sounds like a loud yappy dog. $99 or more, you get a free Promo Proto half-size breadboard. Great for making your projects permanent. Solder onto it with the nice gold pads. $149 or more, you get a free Stemma QT board. We have about 25 different boards we select from. If you make an account, you'll get a different board each time. They're fun and they're inspirational. It's like you don't know what you're going to get. You get it, and then you're like, ooh, I have ideas for a project. $199 or more, you get free UPS ground shipping in the continental United States. It's nice, trackable, insured shipping. Much better than postal if you want to know that you're going to get your product on time. And then $299 or more, you get a free Circuit Playground Express all-in-one development board that makes it super easy for you to build projects with Arduino or CircuitPython or Code.org, CS Discoveries, etc., etc. And then, of course, $1 or more, you get in the United States, shipping in the United States, you'll get a free Goth mask. Don't need it? Have plenty of masks? Give it to someone who does need it.
Yeah. And again, what we're trying to do is just be another voice in this idea that masks work. And if we just do this for 100 days, I think everyone's kind of tired of this.
I'm so sick of this. It's going to be a year soon.
And, the idea in the past was let's just make sure the hospitals don't get burdened so we can work on therapeutics, possibly a cure. And everything is starting to happen. It's of course it's slower than we all hope, but this is where we're at, and this is what we have, and this is what we can do together. So we're just an electronics company that happens to want to be a good business and a good cause. So pick up something in the Adafruit store and have a mask, and if you don't need it, that's fine. Just give it to someone else. That's the whole point. Okay, show and tell. People around the world showing and sharing their projects.
Yes.
Lady Ada, what was shown off on the show and tell?
I'm glad you asked. We had some fun folks coming by. We had Kevin from DigiKey come by. He took our USA COVID tracker and made a special version that is a Minnesota specific COVID tracker. And then for next week, he's going to try to do a vaccine tracker because the vaccine's rolling out in his state. Folks are trying to get it. They're on phase 1B. So it would be cool to see every day, instead of how many more people have COVID, how many more people are being vaccinated and protected. That is going to be so awesome to see that number go up and up.
Yeah.
Colin released a guide this week on the Next Mind. It's like a brain interface that you kind of clip on to your hair, or you use a headband.
Yeah,
and
we have a short video that we'll show
have a video.
later tonight on the show.
But he demoed it live, where he looked at different things on his screen, and the servo moved to the 3 different blocks.
If you want to see a glimpse of the future, watch this week's show and tell.
He said, like, I told him, like, I think it's not the most flexible. Like, it only really knows what you're looking at, not where you're looking. It's explained in the guide how this works, but it works very reliably. Like, they have a video game where you like play like Breakout, and like I was playing it for like 10 minutes, and like it pretty much always did what I said, which is nice. It doesn't have that problem of some brain interfaces where like it's easy for it to get, like, you look over there and it suddenly gets scattered. It's a very, you look at something with purpose and it knows you're looking at it with purpose, so it's cool. So there's a demo of that. Phil B has been working on tiling capability for Protomatter, the RGB matrix firmware we have that works in Arduino and CircuitPython. So you've always been able to have longer strips, but now you can turn them over and have squares or large rectangles. So being able to tile the display to make larger displays, depend on how much RAM you have, but still, that'll be cool. Known Pedro showed off the Dark Saber. They released the guide this week, a massive build. Make your own 3D printed Dark Saber using the Prop Maker Featherwing. It's easy to do it all with CircuitPython. Super cool. Liz made a grayscale OLED MIDI interface for selecting CCs for a upcoming, looks like a 4x4 button board or something. Joey made a cool Pi quarter using a Sharp display. I think CircuitPython, a really beautiful LCARS interface, and capacitive touchpads. Like, it's like really gorgeous, like after dark, black gothy Sharp memory display product. It's like definitely like more Underworld than maybe Star Trek, but still cool.
I think Disney owns them all.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Pierre teaches or works at Sorbonne in Paris, and they want to have students be able to come to the classroom safely. So he made a CO2 airflow sensor that measures the ppm CO2 in a classroom using off-the-shelf CO2 sensors. We actually just put some in stock a week or two ago. And it is used for classrooms, and it will blink an LED red when the CO2 ppm goes above 1,000, which is a good indicator that there's not enough airflow. They should open up a window, get some more airflow, because humans breathe out CO2, and so when the CO2 starts rising, it means there's not enough airflow to circulate out that air. So it's a good, you can't measure COVID in the air, but you can measure how much breathing is going on that isn't being moved. So that's cool, very useful. And he's going to send us a write-up, because he was talking about it, and I'm like, this is so cool, and people want to build it. Hopefully he'll send us the write-up and we'll post it so people can DIY their own. Danon is working on a robotic wheelchair project. It's cool. He's got a Cricut, and he's got the accelerometer working. It's moving some servos, and then he's got a potentiometer that's controlling a wheelchair motor. So he's like going to put it together to make this robotic wheelchair project, which is awesome. And then Mark has updated his long-time Weather Ink project to be in CircuitPython using a mag tag, and said it was so fast and easy, and loves how quick it is to develop new code in CircuitPython, and was like, I've run out of projects to do, so hopefully he'll come up with some new projects, because he got through them too fast. What a problem to have. And that was
All right.
Show and Tell.
Everyone on the Show and Tell, we thank you so much for showing the world what a little piece of the future looks like. It's part of our Adafruit live series of shows. If you are watching this right now, guess what? It's Wednesday at 8 p.m.
Yay.
Ask an Engineer. Show and Tell is 7:30. It's part of our live shows that we do every Wednesday. On Sunday night around 8 o'clock, or Lady 8 o'clock, so it's usually a little bit later, we do
Lady 8
Desk
o'clock is
of
late.
Lady Ada. We had two things that we showed. So we did some cool stuff with answering questions. So we're getting questions on Twitter, on TikTok, and we're answering them right on the store. Right on the show. And then we're putting stuff in our store, or like learn guides, or like whatever we need to do. And then we have...
Where in the world is that part I need? The Great Search with DigiKey.
The Great Search with DigiKey. And this week, the Great Search with DigiKey...
This week's Great Search was for quad microphone input I2S ADCs. It's a lot of acronyms. But basically, we had posted up a really cool teardown of the latest Echo Dot, like the Amazon Alexa doodad. And they are really good at making electronics really cheap, but still it has the quality that you need to do voice recognition. So when they did the teardown, I noticed they were using this quad microphone I2S converter chip, and I was like, well, that's kind of interesting. I want to look into this chip. Is this how cool and useful is this chip? And then as I was looking at it, I was like, oh man, this chip is like neat, but it's like really complicated. And then I noticed that there was a similar chip on DigiKey that had a totally different part number, but was in many ways a replacement for it that did not require as much programming. And that was really exciting to me because I really hate doing configuration of I2S amplifiers. So I showed how to find I2S devices on DigiKey. They're not exactly where you expect. They're under a special function ADC DACs, DACs, which is normally, like, I wouldn't normally call this an ADC, but like technically I guess it is but it's also like PCM input. So anyways, that's the great search, was how to find these quad microphone codec chips.
All right. JP's product pick of the week recap. So if you haven't watched already, we broadcast live from in the product page. There's a discount only during that time. And here's a recap from the latest one.
Today's product pick of the week. It's the MPR121. It's a capacitive touch Gator breakout in Stemma QT format. I've got 4 alligator clips touching some copper tape. I'm going to touch this little Mickey Mouse and it'll go red. If I touch Old Goofy there, we get blue. Jiminy Cricket is this warm white. If I touch this lemon, you'll see it goes to yellow. That is my product pick of the week. It's the MPR121 12-key capacitive touch breakout board made for Gator clips. And it is Stemma QT, so I can plug in some Stemma QT cables right here. I'm going to place that on my Stemma QT board of goodness.
All right, and then JP's workshop is tomorrow, and here's this neat touch thing he's working on, a little bit of preview. And then after that, I'm going to play the latest Makecode Minute, where JP explores all the cool things with Makecode. You can always check it out if you go to makecode.adafruit.com or just makecode.com if you like block programming and also Python and also JavaScript. So I'm going to play these back to back. See you on the other side.
For the Makecode Minute today, I wanted to prototype a sort of game that you could do on a Circuit Playground Express that's similar to a Minesweeper type of game. It's Find the Hidden Object. And so what you'll see here is I have my Circuit Playground Express, and each time I press the A button, I move that little yellow dot around the circle. When I want to guess if that's the location of the hidden dot, I'll press the B button. In that case, it showed red, means that's not where it is, and as I move, it's going to cover up that knowledge that we have. So you got to remember it. It's like a matching game. So I'm going to go through here until we actually get it. And you'll see I don't have a fully developed game here yet, but I think that one I skipped. But this is sort of the bones of, there we go. You'll see there, it turned green, it ends the game. When we reset the game, what we do is we set a variable for something called the hidden location. That's the hidden dot. And that's going to be somewhere between 0 and 9, which is the 10 LED positions on the Circuit Playground Express. Then we also set a variable for our current position, which is used to keep track of where we are on that ring. And then we set the current location's color to yellow. So everything is set to blue except for that current location. Then on button A click, we're going to, if the game on is flipped to true, we're going to set the current pixel color to blue. It kind of erases the yellow. Move forward 1 and then set that pixel to yellow. We also use a little remainder divide by sort of modulo thing to loop all the way around these pixels every time from 0 to 9 to 0. Then when we think we're ready to guess, you press B. If the game on is set true, then we set that current pixel to orange, which says, okay, we're checking this pixel. We wait a little bit for some drama. And then we do some comparisons. If the current location variable is the same as that hidden location, let's say they were both set to 2, then we're going to play that green pixel, sound the alarm, pause for a second, play a little animation, set all the pixels to green, and then the game is over, so we flip the bit to false. If not, we set it to red and then keep moving forward. We play pew pew, and then you keep going. So that is how you can create the foundation of a little guessing game inside of Makecode on the Circuit Playground Express. And that is your Makecode Minute.
Okay, time travel, look around the world, makers, hackers, artists, engineers, and more.
It's already been a week. I feel like we've time traveled like a bazillion years in 12 hours.
Yeah, we have. So an upcoming announcement, Natalie, who does a lot of cool stuff, and Diana on our website on 128, they have a very cool STEM chat. It's a live presentation with Telfair Museums, 2021 Pulse Art Plus Technology Festival. So if you enjoyed Natalie and Diana's videos they've done and guides and blog posts and more, check this out and you will be able to tune in. Next up, good news, bad news. Good news, AdaBox still going strong. In fact, so much so we have less than 20 slots available all the way for the March one. So if you're on the fence, I can just tell you now.
We will run out.
We will run out.
We will absolutely run out.
And you're going to want this one. So just a little bit of reminder.
Yeah.
Next week, we are on a hack chat, and it's 6 months in to ESP32S2. So we're going to be talking with the Hack Today team.
What have we learned?
What have we learned and more?
What hardware have we designed? That's some cool hardware we're going to
Yeah.
show off. We're going to talk with Scott and Dan. We'll maybe even talk about the C3, the S3.
Yeah.
More C's and more S's. You never know. All of them. So come on by. It's going to be ESP-rific.
Yeah, so that's next week. Also, a little bit of an update. If you haven't joined us on TikTok, take out your phone, and I'll go back to this in a second. But we have a TikTok, and it's interesting for y'all who are looking for electronics communities or people who make things. It's unusual for us to see something like this. Maybe we're just getting jaded, but in TikTok land, a lot of people there, it's not like Instagram, and I mentioned this last week, it's not like Instagram where it's like, look what I own, look at me on my vacation, look at my like breakfast. It's more like, look what I can do, look what I can sew, look what
Here's
I can
what
build,
my life is. Yeah.
look what I can print, look what I can share. It's definitely like very maker friendly. So if you haven't already, and there's a 3D printing community on there, and the comments are really good, and people are asking good questions. So check it out. We're there. Some of the things that we've been posting up is things like this time lapse of EagleCAD and more. Colin's doing some stuff. Pedro are doing some stuff. So we're doing some short form videos on there, and then we're of course putting these on other platforms. But it does seem to be a place where people are able to interact together and build stuff. It's like, I guess the closest thing I'd say is like, it's the most skateboardy culture. It's like, oh, look what I made, look what I made, look what I made. So it's kind of neat that that's happening. So I think the youngins are going to be okay. They're making some good content over there. So we're trying to help out. A lot of people, especially young folks, they don't know that they can be an engineer, and they don't know that there's a factory in New York City, and they don't know there's people like Lamore, people like we have on our team that are just like them. They're just a little further along in their career because they decided to do something like Adafruit. So we're hoping this sparks some imaginations and more. Okay, let's do some Python hardware.
Okay, it's Blink of Time.
It is Blink of Time, Code Plus Community.
That's us.
Yeah, so
Lots of code.
this week,
Lots of community.
yeah, so this is tracking COVID vaccination progress with CircuitPython.
Yay.
This is a not only a good project, but it's also like, after a while, like we have the number of infections and deaths and stuff like that, and we've had to do that, and it's a good indicator to have and to know, especially for like local regions and stuff like that. But eventually, like, you know, it'd be nice to have okay, what next? And this is just the start of it. So this is vaccination updates. A lot of states are doing dashboards, so we'll see more of this. And a lot of places will be able to, I think in San Francisco right now, you sign up and you get an alert when it's your turn to get a vaccine.
Ooh.
So all we got to do is make a bunch of vaccines now.
Yes.
Picorder, Joey was on the show and tell. This is a very neat tricorder with like a sharp display, uses an LCAR interface, it has all sorts of sensors and more. So if you ever
it's
wanted
neat.
to build a tricorder,
He's
now
totally
you can.
loving that 7051. He's just like blowing it up. I
Yeah,
love it. I mean,
the-
it's just like the capacitive touchpad is so cool.
The Osh Park After Dark Silk looks really nice. too.
Goth.
All right, so you can check this out and more. 2021 Open Hardware Summit calls for proposals. It's virtual this year. You can propose your talk. We're a sponsor. CircuitPython 6.1 release candidate 1 is released. So we have some updates. Anything that you want to mention for people to try out?
6.1 is pretty much the ESP32S2 mag tag. A lot of stuff with Wi-Fi with 6. There's just so many bugs and tweaks and updates. I think we added some more alarm modes, sleep modes. Yeah, just a ton of little details. And we're going to do a 6.2 soon. We're going to update a couple more modules. And there's going to be more ESP32S2 stuff coming in. Including the sockets that you can have the ESP act as a host, not just like right now it can connect to websites, but for it to act like a website, I think we still have to merge that in and do a release. So that's coming in 6.2. Still, we wanted to get a stable release out as soon as possible, just so people with mag tags and other ESP32S2 boards got all the latest fixes and updates.
Okay. What if the Python REPL was like Basic? Scott experiments editing Python code like Basic was edited. The idea is imagining this as default mode for Raspberry Pi 400. It's a mix of modern and retro. You can check that out on GitHub. And this is in contrast to QuickPython, which runs on old PCs. Scott has a deep dive this week. Do check that out. We have our Happy New Year 2021 CircuitPython entries of what you want to see and more. Please get those in, because guess what? If you say you want something in CircuitPython,
We add it. We
We'll probably do it.
Yeah.
News from around the web. Here is a really cool module, CircuitPython number pad. This was from a Redditor in the CircuitPython subreddit. It's still a popular place if you want to share your projects over there too. We're going to CircuitPython for search for this UDraw Wii game tablet. That's MicroDraw.
I love that, like all these like old Wii, I'm seeing a resurgence of people who are like, these Wii controllers with I2C connections are cheap and they're easy to
There's a
use.
lot of them.
Just added that little Wiimote adapter.
Here's some feather carriers. You can check those out that are getting worked up. This is, like I was saying, here's some hope, some optimism. Here's California vaccinations. You can see how many were put in arms each day. Here is...
Scott Hanselman's got TikTok, and it's like... it's
yeah,
like
we're
bombing.
watching that.
It's awesome.
And then CircuitPython Loader. It's a simple script that will wait for a CircuitPython drive to appear, erase all files from it, then copies the contents over to CircuitPython folder, and so you can then choose all the different things
Oh,
you want to
quick loader.
do. Okay. And then other odds and ends. If you're looking for Jupyter stuff, it's MicroPython. Put that in a newsletter. You can check out the events that are coming up. We have our coming soons. I think we're almost up to 300. Yeah, 291 libraries. We're getting closer to 300.
Oh, I released like 3 this week, so we're going to get to
Okay, we'll be
300
there.
in a month or so.
Check out what our team is up to. This Saturday, Lady Ada is talking about CircuitPython Blinka, which is not just straight up CircuitPython. She'll talk about the differences and what Blinka is and more.
Writing libraries and running them on single board Linux computers, which is a dream come true for me because
Yeah.
I love Linux, but I also kind of hate Linux. Like most people who use Linux. So getting all of our CircuitPython libraries running on, easily 50 or 100 different Linux boards now is amazing. It's so cool that it's like no matter what weirdo Linux board you got, we'll make it work.
All right, and check out the rest of the newsletter. You can get this on adafruitdaily.com. We don't spam. We don't harvest your emails. Subscribe anytime. It's a completely separate site, adafruitdaily.com. Check it out, and that is our Python on Hardware news this week.
Yay, Blinka!
All right, open source hardware. We're an open source hardware company. This week was Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and we got the parts in. We were able to make these. This is our not for sale workshop board. This is Black Lives Matter educational workshop kit. We've put this together. We started this in the summer of 2020. Now it's done, and we're donating it to groups that are doing workshops, learn to code, and more. So if you're one of those places, email us. Some already have.
Yes, you want me to show it off?
Yeah, show the badge off. It's
So that's a
badge that
prototype,
lights
so
up.
it has the date code on the front.
Yeah.
But the real one is super cool. So we've got this beautiful graphic silk screen. And hold on, let me autofocus lock. Okay. So it has a lanyard hole. And so this is kind of the front, but the electronics are on the back. So it runs off of 2 AAA batteries, and we've got a little boost converter here. So if you're using rechargeable batteries, so you only get like 2.5 volts, it'll boost it up to 3 volts for you, so you can run all the electronics nice and easy. It's also got USB-C, so you can use that to power it as well. There's a SAMD21, one of my favorite little Cortex M0 chips. And let me see. It's got a STEM and QT connector, which I added, so you can really easily add other sensors and devices if you want to expand the project. There's a microphone. There's a light sensor, and the light sensor comes out the front here. You can see that little hole. That's the light sensor, so you can tell if it's light or dark out. There's an on-off switch. I'm going to turn it on. You can see that there are 6 side light neopixels. They're super bright, and when you wear it, it's going to look cool because you'll get like the light spreading onto your t-shirt, which I thought was a neat effect. There's also a little red LED, a reset button, and these 4 pads are capacitive touch pads. They're not just fingers. So you can use them as capacitive touch inputs, or you can use them to connect or power other electronics. They're wired to GPIO on the SAMD21. And then there's a lanyard hole as well. And another thing that we feel recommended is I made the battery so it's flush with the bottom. So if you don't want it as a pendant, you can just have it sitting on your desk. So it sits, it's of course upright right now, but it sits flat. And so if you don't want to...
That's how I was able to...
So yeah, we got that photo. So it's a good example of it. But what's nice about the SAMD21 is it's really easy for us to get this working in Arduino and CircuitPython and Makecode and other things. It's a really well-supported chip. A great little workshop pack because it'll come fully assembled. You plug it in, and then you can wear and show off your creation.
And we published all the files on GitHub.
Yes.
Like I said, we donate these only. These are not for sale. But you can make your own if you really wanted to, or if you're a nonprofit or a group that's doing some type of workshops, let us know. And as we make these, we're going to try to continue donating them all throughout the year and more. All right. We are an open source hardware company. In addition to doing these cool open source things that I just showed, we have 2,401 guides. Lady Ada, what is on the big board this week?
Okay, we're slowly spinning up the beginning of the year, getting our guides in order. JP did a Guitar Hero MIDI controller project, so we got the new Stemma QT Wiimote adapter, which already is becoming like super popular. I did I think a really good job. I made the PCB extra thick. And there's like these gold pads and notches, so when you plug in your Wiimote or whatever, it's like a really solid connection. Like it's not going to jiggle loose. We used to carry one that was like it slipped in, it would like slip out really easily. So now it's very easy to use Arduino or CircuitPython to make a custom controller from the Wii used to control your electronics. So here he's using a Guitar Hero MIDI guitar, and it has like some buttons and like a couple knobs. And he's connected it through the Stemma QT board to, I think, a QT Py, and is reading through Arduino the sensor data and then sending that through USB MIDI. So now he's playing the guitar, and it's playing, Max MSP or Sound GarageBand or whatever sound control software he's got running on his computer or laptop or tablet. So it's a neat project. I think it'd be really popular because these Wii controllers are so inexpensive and really fun, right? It's like you can really make chiptunes with chiptunes controllers. We also have the big build from Noah and Pedro. They finally wrapped up their dark saber. They've been working on this for months. If you watch The Mandalorian, they've got this cool blade that's it's not a lightsaber, it's a dark saber, and it's a little bit evil, but it's also powerful. So maybe you want to build one of your own. They used some interesting techniques to make this. So they have all 3D printed components and then CircuitPython with a feather and the prop maker feather wing, neopixels to light up the edge light the blade, and speaker for sound effects, and a battery as well. So it's nice and portable. You charge it up overnight, and then you can run around doing fun cosplay stuff. And if you have friends who have lightsabers, you can battle them for control of the planet Mandalore, which I guess is what all the cool kids are doing on TikTok now. And then finally, from Colin, he's got a guide on controlling electronics with your brain using the Next Mind, this nifty Unity interfacing EEG hardware. You connect it to the back of your head, and you can use Unity to detect what people are looking at. He combined that with some Unity to hardware scripts to basically make code that lets you detect what somebody's looking at through their like brain interface, and move hardware, a servo, to follow along. So it's like you can control atoms with your brain, which is amazing.
Right. And we're gonna play a little bit of video. So this is on our TikTok, but it will be later tonight. But you can watch it now. All right, some main New York City factory footage. Here's a tester.
That's cool. They took apart the relay so you can actually see it.
Yeah.
This is a relay featherwing tester. Maybe the relay broke, and they're like, well, let's just show the science.
This is another tester.
Testing all those LEDs. Looking good.
And when you have a bunch of LEDs, you have a countdown clock. And so this is
a time lapse
This
of the
is
countdown.
a time lapse of the countdown clock, which ended today. So we had a countdown to the next administration. This clock I've looked at, I think, for the last 4 years at Adafruit. And as of today, at noon,
They gotta do something else with it now.
I'm sure there's going to be something else that we're going to need to work on and count down to or from. So that's one of the things that we made. And then it wouldn't be a main New York City factory footage unless you saw Disney, which is hard at work. They do not know that there was a presidential election. They just continue. Someone's going to tell them there was COVID. There was a lot of things that has happened since they've started on this endeavor to the center of the earth. They're unwavered. They're undeterred. They're just digging constantly across the street from us. And then here is a beautiful sunset here in New York City. Sunrise, sorry.
It's a sunrise?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, 3D printing. No Pedro. Printing up a bunch of stuff. We're going to do a back-to-back. We're going to do the dark saber, and then we're going to do a speed up.
Okay.
So see you on the other side in
All
about
right.
4 minutes.
Later.
Hey, what's up, folks? In this project, we're building the dark saber from The Mandalorian. This is a fully 3D printed prop that we designed to be a DIY kit that you can build yourself with electronics from Adafruit. The blade is entirely 3D printed and has strips of NeoPixel LEDs embedded inside. It's built to be durable so you could throw some heavy swings for those intense photo shoots. All of the electronics are hidden inside the hilt, and it features motion activated lights and sounds. The hilt is designed to look like the darksaber from Season 2 of The Mandalorian. For the electronics, the prop maker Featherwing is designed for making props with lights and sounds. It's great for portable projects that need motion sensing, buttons, and powering lots of LEDs. Combined with the Feather Blue Fruit, you can use the mobile app to change the color of the LEDs. This is great for cosplay props that need to be remotely controlled. The two boards snap together to make a compact circuit that can be embedded in lots of different projects. The code was written in CircuitPython and uses libraries from Adafruit. In the sketch, the code runs the startup mode and plays the LED animation and audio file. When motion is detected, a sound effect is randomly triggered from a list of different sounds. Heavier motion triggers the clashing sound effects and turns up the brightness on all of the neopixels. Tapping on the board lets you test out the swing and hit threshold so you can fine-tune the sensitivity. The swings and hits are kept updated with the color of the neopixels so you can use the color picker as much as you want. The Prop Maker Featherwing makes our projects easy to customize so you can swap out the sounds and use different LED animations. You can charge the battery while having it on the stand so it doesn't take up too much space. We designed it in Fusion 360 and made it fully customizable so the dimensions can be adjusted to fit your 3D printer. The Prop Maker and Feather are secured to a 3D printed holder that can slide in and out of the hilt. All of the wiring is fitted through the battery holder and it can be quickly disconnected to make the assembly easy to take apart. The speaker and battery snap fit into their holders while the PCBs are secured with screws. Their oval shape and form leave just enough clearance for additional wiring. Speaker holes run down the side of the hilt so the sound can play through. The neopixel strips are pressed into the channel that runs along the center of the blade. Covers are 3D printed and taped together so they can be attached to the sides. Screws secure the hilt to the blade emitter, making it easy to take apart. The hilt is 3D printed in black PLA and fits machines with a tall Z height of at least 220 millimeters. All of the parts can be printed without any support material, so there's no waste and they're ready to use right off the printer. The CAD source files and STLs are free to download so folks can make their own parts or have your friends print them for you. Be sure to check out the Learn Guide for a full step-by-step tutorial on building this project. It's documented with plenty of photos so it's easy to follow along and get started. You can pick up the lightsaber kit now from Adafruit and build awesome props with open source hardware. Thanks so much for watching and don't forget to make the Force be with you.
All right, and you can learn how to build all of this stuff and more every single Wednesday on 3D Hangouts with Noah and Pedro, the longest running 3D printing show in the universe. Probably.
Non-universe.
Yeah. All right,
Okay,
it's
cool.
time. DigiKey and Adafruit present this week's Eye on MPI is an NXP product. Lady Ada, what is the new product
Okay.
from DigiKey this
one
week?
is definitely keeping an eye on the eye and MPI.
Really?
It is the new.
Is it a bag of eyes?
It's a bag of eyes.
Yay.
It's the NXP SLN Visnas IoT. Hopefully, I'm saying that correctly. It's a edge machine learning face recognition hardware that runs again completely on the edge. It runs on a microcontroller. It uses the NXP RT106X series, which if you're like, hey, that sounds familiar, it's because it's also used in the TNC4. It's a very similar chip. It's the same hardware, but this one is licensed to use, I guess, this machine learning build that does machine learning for face recognition. It does a nice, fast job of it. It's very effective and precise. And it does not require a full Linux build. It doesn't require the internet. And because it's a microcontroller, it can go into deep sleep mode. So it's perfect when you want to do face recognition, but you don't want to depend on the internet, or if you need to be able to go into low power mode because it maybe runs on a battery, or maybe it just shouldn't, it shouldn't have to depend on power. So for example, if you're doing a door entry system and you don't want people to get locked out because there's no power. If the power goes out, they should still be able to get in and out. This could run on battery backup power, something that a Linux computer would not be able to do nearly as easily. So let's take a look at the dev board. So the chip itself is on the back. I'll show that in a second, but this is the dev board you get. And it's got USB-C, it's got a couple buttons in the center, PIR sensor, that's the white thing, and then two cameras on the right. And let's look at this in more detail. So there's the front and the back, and they kind of plug together. So on the left-hand side is the microcontroller. So the microcontroller is, again, that RT10X series. It's got hyperflash memory. Memory for this chip is stored on flash. I don't think it has internal flash memory, or if it does, it needs more to run this code. SD-RAM, so you have plenty of memory. You're going to need a lot of memory to do any kind of visual recognition because you have to get so much visual data and analyze it. There's an SWD port. There's mono output. The example, I don't think uses it, but if you want to reprogram the code and add audio output, of course, you get that. There's also PDM microphones, so you can also add in some voice recognition if you need. A PIR sensor, the dev board has 4 buttons, which are used in the example code. There's a boot mode, so if you want to reprogram it with the built-in bootloader. Lithium-ion battery, so you can power it off of battery power. And not completely indicated here, but you see those FPC connectors. There is an external TFT display that you can plug in, sold separately. And there's a USB-C connector on the bottom. Great. So if you take that USB-C and you plug it in, this shows up as a COM port and a camera. It was neat. Like, it actually shows up as a device. Because it's a microcontroller and it can do stuff like that. You don't have to deal with like gadget mode with Linux. It just shows up as like literally a camera. So you open up your camera software, like in this case, I'm running like Microsoft camera or something, and it comes up and it has something like this. It has the visual output of what it's seeing. There's like a sort of a blue square in the center telling you this is what it's looking at for the face recognition area. I turn on the debug, so there's that text overlay that tells you like what the output of the various processing stages are. On the bottom, it tells you what the application is, and this is the electronic lock application where, if it recognizes a face, it unlocks something. There's, at the bottom, you can barely see it, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. There's also a Bluetooth and Wi-Fi chip on there that you can use for, Wi-Fi or wireless connectivity. Again, the default example, it doesn't do anything, but the hardware is there for your use. When you press a button, it will, on the board, it's neat, it's all in one, it will register your face. So it says, okay, registering, and then you kind of have to shift your face around a little bit so it gets all these angles of your face. And then it says, okay, you have been added. It knows who you are. And then you can save that to memory if you want for long-term use. And you can save, the number of faces you can save is a couple hundred to 1,000. It depends on how precise you want it to be. I think it's probably a memory or storage or just search speed thing. It's like the faster you want it to go, the less faces it has to be able to look through. So if you only have like 100 faces it has to recognize, you can use a slightly stricter model than if you're having to measure 1,000 faces. They do have a program that can let you do 1,000, but again, it's not as strict. So you have to make that decision. In the data sheet, they talk about these choices. Once it recognizes you later, you can save it as a name. You can say this is the person's name, or you can just say user number 1, and then this sort of overlay thing comes up and says welcome home, and makes it so you can't see anything else. So that's the basic demo. So it works quite well. I tested it and like I kind of like put my hair up, put my hair down. I tried like wearing a hat. I tried different lighting and did a pretty good job. One thing that's interesting is that when you press a button, it goes into infrared mode. So it does have two cameras, and from looking at it, and one of them has a slightly different lens than the other. I believe that one of them is IR and one of them is RGB. And so it has like stereoscopic vision, but one of the nice side effects is it's kind of like an anti-spoofing technology. So one of the problems with these simple non-depth based camera face detectors is that you can often trick them by taking a photo of a person and holding up that photo, and the camera's like, ding dong, the person. Okay, that's them. I agree. But when you have IR, and I think if you have these two cameras that are offset a little bit, that probably helps too. When you hold up a picture of a person in color and then in IR, it doesn't look right. You know what I mean? Like the flatness, the infrared doesn't come out the way it should on a human face because the background in the image is flat. And it's not like depth detection, but like humans radiate a different infrared pattern on their faces than a photo does. And so when you open up the serial console, it's cool. It says IR, fake face. It says like I detected a face, but it did not pass my fake face test. So it will not get tricked by a piece of paper or a TFT with a face on it, which is kind of handy. I think that was a nice. It's always a little embarrassing when you see folks like do like security analyses of like lock picks or face recognition or fingerprint, and it's like, wow, you could trick it with like a piece of Jell-O. That's like so terrible.
Here's a picture of Jell-O.
And it's like, hi, welcome home. Okay, but it doesn't have that problem. So here's the algorithm. So it can use deep sleep mode, which I thought was really useful. One of the nice things about microcontrollers is, Linux is more powerful. Of course, there's face recognition software and OpenCV and all that good stuff. But like, suddenly you're running something that's going to draw about an amp. You need, a lot of complex software to run it. To boot it up takes a long time. There's a chance of file system corruption. What's nice about these standalone microcontroller dev board versions of face recognition is, one, you don't have to worry about your data going to the cloud or somebody hacking into your firmware just because like there's a backdoor password. But it also can use something like the built-in PIR sensor. It doesn't start doing the face recognition or recording any video until somebody is in front of it, which is like a kind of obvious thing. But because the microcontroller can wake up within like 100 milliseconds of the PIR sensor, to a human, it's nearly instantaneous. Like they don't notice the difference because it happens so fast. Whereas if it was a Linux board, it would be like, oh, hey, wait, I got to boot up. Hold on, like F-disk, got to check out like all my sound cards, whatever. A minute later, you're maybe booted. So fast wake up, low power usage. That's why you'd want to use this instead of OpenCV. Okay, so they've got a nice webpage that I checked out. It's got all of the details. It was super quick to get started. So this board itself is the SLN Visnas IoT. This is the dev board, and it's ready to go. It has everything you need to do like your project or product you can design with it. And then, of course, you can buy the individual chip as well. So just watch out. Like we're talking about the dev board, but they also sell the chip. And the chip is like $7. It comes with the license and software and everything for this. It's a BGA chip. NXP will help you with getting it integrated into your product. But I would get the dev kit because, well, first off, you could probably just use this as is. It's a great edge, facial detection system. And they have the code. You just need like a JLink programmer to program it. You program it up with NXP Expresso, I think is the name of the IDE. But it's all open source and available, like the source code for the demo, so you can hack and mod it. And of course, like I said, there's a TFT screen as well. Okay.
Available on DigiKey's site.
Pick it up.
The folks who want to know the link, you can go to digikey.com/short/475V94, or you could probably just search for what?
Visnas, honestly, the VIZNAS, nothing else is named that. And then if you want to check out, we're going to show a video. There's a bunch of videos also on the NXP site showing the different things. There's also a couple other details I wanted to mention real fast. It also has an emotion engine that you can turn on that will detect like happiness or surprise or anger. I don't know how useful that is, unless maybe you wanted to know if someone was angry at your door and you wouldn't let them in. I don't know, but it does have that capability. There's a command line interface that you can go and you can like turn on like debugging and interface.
Get happy
control.
before you come in. It's kind of like wiping off your feet now.
Yeah, maybe.
Come in with a smile on your face.
All right, do you want me to show this on the overhead real fast?
Yeah, we'll show it on the overhead, and then we're going to play a video from NXP.
Yeah, show the video on how you get it registered. So this is the dev board. So this is the camera interface, and you can see there's two white LEDs, so you can turn on the LEDs to illuminate somebody's face. And then there's two IR LEDs here, and the two cameras, and like you can kind of see one has a slightly different filter on the lens, I think. So one of these, this is probably the one with the IR cut filter, and maybe this one isn't, or I don't know. And then this is like a milled out piece of plastic. This is the PIR sensor, USB, 4 buttons. This is probably where you would connect the TFT if you wanted, and maybe some external hardware here. This is the dev board module, which I think is just adorable. This is the IMX RT106F. F is probably for face. WinBond flash, or yeah, ISSI RAM. This is the BLE and Wi-Fi chipset, probably SDIO, and then it goes to this like antenna, which is on the back here, so you can do Bluetooth or Wi-Fi control. And then this plugs in. I didn't unplug it because I didn't want to break it, but yeah, they got all the passives on the back. Big power supply inductors, maybe a PMIC and some other just management chips, more power supply stuff. And then yeah, this is the microcontroller board and Wi-Fi. So this is like kind of cute and nice. Plugs into the user interface board, and then this is the camera board, which is really stuck in there, but it looks like this. So this is what you've got here. I like this dual camera. It's kind of a cool little thing I've never seen before, but there you go. So these three pieces, and they plug into this milled resin package. Okay, so let's watch this video showing the process of registering and identifying names.
Hi, I'm Cooper Carnahan, a solutions integrator here at NXP, and today I'm going to be showing you how to get up and running with your SLN Vision AS IoT kit. When you first receive your kit, you'll find three things inside: a quick start guide, a USB-C cable, and most importantly, your SLN Vision AS IoT kit. To begin, take the included USB-A to USB-C cable and plug the USB-A end into your computer's USB port and the USB-C end into the USB-C port on your kit. The USB port on your kit provides power to the board, drag and drop flashing via MSD, and virtual serial port capabilities. With the cable plugged in, a green LED will light up to indicate the kit is receiving power. Once the application is running, your computer will automatically discover the kit is both a COM device and USB webcam, and your computer may make a sound indicating it has detected a new USB device. Next, open the camera app if using Windows, or Cheese if using Ubuntu, to view the camera output coming from the kit. If you have multiple cameras attached to your computer, you may have to switch to the SLN Vision AS IoT camera to see anything coming from the kit. Right off the bat, you'll notice the built-in GUI provides some convenient on-screen information, including a bounding box to help users properly align and center their faces while registering, the on-off status of both the Wi-Fi and BLE capabilities of the kit, and the total number of users registered in the kit's local face database. Press the Switch for Push button on the front of the kit to begin registering a new face. An on-screen message at the top of the screen will be displayed to indicate that registration is taking place. Simply hold your face in front of the camera, making sure to center your face within the provided guidelines. Upon successful registration, a message will be displayed indicating a new user has been added to the kit's local face database, and the number of registered users will be increased by 1. If registration fails, simply press the registration button again to retry. Once registered, your face will prompt a welcome home message whenever your face is recognized. Registered faces will continue to be recognized until the kit is powered off or the face is manually removed. although saving faces permanently can be done using the CLI or by enabling low power mode. Both of these features will be discussed in more depth in later videos. This concludes our look at powering on and registering a face with the SLN Vision AS IoT kit. Check out the next video in our series to learn how to test out the liveness detection and anti-spoofing features of the kit.
Okay, watch all the videos because there's more videos when
And
you show
that's
you the first one.
This week's Ion and PI. Check it out on DigiKey.
That's right.
All right, so we're going to do things a little different this week.
What do you mean? What's different?
So we're skipping new products this week.
Oh no!
And why would we do that?
Why are we doing that?
Why would we do that? Because
don't know. Why
we're
are we doing that?
we're doing new products tomorrow.
Are we?
And there could be a few reasons for that.
What is that?
Well,
I don't know.
one reason could be
Yeah.
we don't have any new products. Well, that's never true. So that it can't be that.
Okay.
Another one could be that
I gotta
there's
go for this back.
there's some new products that are coming out, but we have to wait till tomorrow to show them. That could
okay.
be it.
Yeah.
The third one is we ran out of time today, and we just forgot to do them. No,
Did we?
No, it's not
No.
that. So
So you think it's two?
yeah, so
You think it's two?
Yeah, we have some really
You
cool.
think there's some like something is coming out, but we can't say what it is?
Yeah, in the past when there's been holiday days on
Yeah.
Wednesdays,
Okay.
we've done new products. But trust us when I tell you, it's going to be kind of cool. So you'll
Okay.
be seeing our new products tomorrow. Tomorrow's a few hours away.
Yes.
Okay, so with that, I'm going to move on to top secret.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
what are you working on this week?
Well, I made a bunch of breakouts. Like, for example, that quad microphone ADC I was talking about that can do PDM or analog mics. It was in the Echo Dot. I thought, like, that's a pretty cool chip, and, like, it does something that is pretty tough to find. So I made a quick breakout for it. It's I2S stereo with TDM, timed vision, multiplexed, and you can see the top of the 4 microphones and bias. And then while I was doing that, I was like, wait, there's another chip, the PCM 1840. We talked about this on the Great Search. It's almost the same idea, except it's only analog microphone in, so it can work with Electret or analog MEMS mics. And it doesn't require any I2C configuration. It's configured solely by bootstrapped GPIO at the bottom there, the FMT and MSZ and MD0. You know, it seems like there's a lot of them, but there's actually not that many configurations. There's only a couple that make sense for you to use. And then it just pipes out, again, quad I2S with time vision multiplexed stereo I2S. So I think this will be neat. I want to put these together, but once I saw that Echo Dot teardown, I thought this would be great for people doing projects where you want to do like voice localization, because if you have 4 microphones and you have I2S, which is like, it's because it's time vision multiplexed, you're going to get all the audio samples like synchronized together. You can actually do cool stuff where you can detect where audio is coming from, and I don't even think you need to do that much hardcore DSP work to it. So I don't know, we'll see.
What else are you working on?
This I found, I don't even know how the heck I saw this chip. Maybe it was on Nice Chips or something, but this is the DS4420, and this is I think it was because I was looking at audio amplifier, DACs, controllers, whatever. So this is a Class AB amplifier, but the volume is controlled by I2S, which I thought was just kind of cute. Like you can have audio in, mono, it's differential, but it's mono, differential output, and you can just really quickly change the audio volume. So I think this would be handy for people who like, I don't want to have a potential, but I want to change the audio on something without.
Okay. And then the other thing we did was
Lots of time lapses.
we've been doing time lapses as we've been doing them
Yeah.
above the workshop desk of Lady Ada. So check those out. You'll see some things. Those are the top secrets. And again, tomorrow we'll have a special edition of new products. And that's top secret of the week. So we will jump over to questions. If folks have them, head over to Discord, adafruit.it/discord. I'll put the little URL here just in case, adafruit.it/discord, or you can go to discord.gg/adafruit. join all 26,000 of us over
Yeah.
there. We've been building this community together for years. Thanks for making it a great place. Someone had a question earlier. It was way back in the chat, this was for the. This question was for the NXP thing. If you use a full-size photo as a mask, does it trick the face algorithm?
No, I think you actually need the heat signature that comes from skin. I think even if it's bent, it wouldn't work. I don't know if it would work. I mentioned the write-up. I don't know if you were like a Mission Impossible latex mask wearer, whether that would work. I think it's cold, so it probably would not have the same heat signature. Look, I mean, I'm sure you can hack this with, enough energy, but for basic vision recognition, it does a pretty good job.
Okay, for those TikTok videos that we're showing and for the time-lapse, you use what tool? Not the time-lapse, the CAD tool. And
I'm
what
using
version?
Eagle CAD,
What version?
the latest, whatever it is.
Latest?
Yeah.
So you've gone, the question was, you're using the cloud subscription one?
It's a cloud subscription. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. That's worth it.
Yeah, does it work better than the previous versions?
They did add a lot of things that I think made it worth upgrading. The routing is a lot faster and easier. Like, it used to be really frustrating to route. Like, it wouldn't hint you how, it wouldn't do routing where it followed the contours of the board, and it does now. It's like, it's not auto routing, but it basically makes it so I can route about like 2 or 3 times faster than it used to be able to.
And
It shows DRC is much easier, and it won't let you put a via where it would like break the DRC. Like, there's a lot of little things that they did that just make the like, they have push and shove. Like, there's a lot of things that they did that KiCad has. I just don't use KiCad. KiCad has other problems. But I
okay. Oh, can you hand me the candle for a second? So someone wanted to know, where could they get, if they wanted to make one of these, where could they get
Well,
the
we
code?
can post the GIF, but we just took a candle GIF and followed the Matrix Portal GIF guide.
Yeah, so if you go...
It's just a GIF.
If you go to our Learn Guide for the Matrix Portal, you can just grab any GIF online.
Yeah,
And
we just took a GIF and we resized it.
This is OK Candle.
It's
We
okay.
found it.
We
If you
resized
search
it.
for animated GIF candle, I think this is like the first result that comes up.
Yeah, it's probably the first result.
Yeah.
And then you just resize it and you put it on there.
Yeah. All right. And then another question was about MagTag. So we sold a ton of MagTags. In fact, I'm willing to say the MagTag might be the most prolific e-ink display
Yeah, so
that actually works.
we sold a lot, and then we basically ran out of e-ink displays, and we ordered more, but there's just been a lot of difficulty getting any displays in the market right now.
Yeah.
But we have had them shipped, and so we are making more now. So I think this week or next week for sure we'll have more in stock. But it's definitely been like, that's annoying. Like, we made all these mag tags, and then we were not able to get another big batch of e-ink
Yeah,
displays.
we're probably up to like 10,000 or so far, but we'll try to get more out. Can you suggest a way to use a Nordic Power profiler to monitor current to a device that requires 9 volt, exceeds PP limit of 5 volts, or maybe an alternative method, low current under 30 milliamps?
Yeah, that's gonna. Well, there's an ammeter mode.
Yeah.
I would see if that works, but you might have to look around to see other I don't know of any power meters that supply 9 volts. They're all like 5 volts or less, because that's when you're doing low power. You normally don't have 9 volts involved. So that's the only thing I would recommend. You could try to put in ammeter mode, or you could look for a digital ammeter.
Okay, someone wanted to know in the other chat, where do they get a list of the freebie deals?
It's in
And
/free.
It's adafruit.com/free.
/free.
And the only thing we didn't do is put a photo, or we have text that says, any order you get the black surgical style mask. That's with our new 100 days of masking, but we'll have a graphic up on here soon. And then let me see if there's any more. Okay, you answered that one. You got the power thing. And then some nice feedback for the MagTag. MagTag is perfect cross-section of functionality, ease of use with CircuitPython, and low power with e-ink and deep sleep. Thank you, Hugo. That's exactly what we wanted to do.
Yay.
I think, there's that theory that, like, if you have something like salty, sweet, and then, savory, like, there's, like, a way to have, like, the perfect taste. I think you can do that with hardware, like, having something that you plug in, shows up as a USB drive, you're dragging and dropping graphics and fonts and doing stuff, and then the programming is just easy. You just say, go there and get this, and display it.
Yes.
And in a matter of minutes, you have a ambient display. And then the best part is low power, which was really hard to do. Like all this stuff is like really hard, but now it's really easy. And we're making it too easy. We're gonna make it so easy that someone's gonna get angry.
Yes. And then the visual recognition is going to say you're angry.
Yeah. All right. Have you tried Eagle CAD inside of Fusion 360 yet?
No, I just click on the eagle logo, and then I do the thing I do.
Okay. And I think that's going to be it for the night.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. That is our show for tonight. Special thanks to Takara, who's running things behind the scenes.
Thank you, Takara.
Over in the Adafruit Slack that we have for our team.
Okay.
Special thanks to all of our community. Special thanks to everyone who purchases stuff, our community, all of our team members, and more.
It's been a day, man. I'm so tired.
What a day. We're all going to remember what we were doing on Wednesday, January 20th, 2021, and we were here together. So thank you so much, everybody, for spending your time with us. There's a lot going on, and I want to also just say thank you, folks, for supporting us, a woman-owned company in New York City, trying to be a good cause and good business, doing manufacturing. We're still around. We're still here. Thanks for your orders. It's very much appreciated, and part of our cause and mission, we want to help out and get everyone the mask up for the next 100 days. So you'll see that in your order if you place an order for anything. The way we did it is
in the USA.
In the USA, because it's hard to ship out.
We can't export PPE.
PPE outside of the country, and so that'll be day one of 100 is today, and hopefully at the end of this 100 days we can all say, well, here's something we tried to do. There's a lot more that we want to do, but here's something we tried to do just to continue to get the message out to help folks, and let's get past this and let's build all of our dreams together. We'll see everybody next week.
Bye.
Full week of shows still
We got
ahead.
new products
and more.
tomorrow.
And see you next week.
Bye.
Here's your moment of Zener.
Hey, hi. Lamore, Bill, and especially MOSFET. Keep being awesome.
Hello, this is Ted Barber Jr. I was watching your Saturday broadcast, was trying to call in. Obviously, I'm not the winner, but just want to let you know that I truly appreciate what you guys are doing. Not only with your products, but these videos that you're doing each week. The show and tell, the Circuit Python, the 3D printing, and then today's Saturday show with Lamore and the lady